Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight we are working on the BOM 3 Starry Night. So this is our third month. We have built several blocks thus far. They're looking great. Have you ran into any situation that you want to talk about? Please feel free to reach out to me, send messages. I've had a few questions, a few concerns, so we're going to talk about those. Starry Night, it looks like all of our blocks seem to be so far going smooth. I hope you're enjoying the process, because the most important thing is enjoy the process. So again, we are going to start with BOM 3, and we are going to be doing block A3 and A4. As a reminder, as you can tell, I have wrote in the difference of the mirror image. We have the pattern side, which is the paper, okay? The paper side. And then we have the fabric, which is the finished side. So finished is for fabric. So the reason is this is kind of like a mirror image of your kit. You're going to be looking at it one way. You'll turn it over and it'll be another. So such as pattern and then paper. So how you build these is going to be different as well, whether you're looking at the pattern side or you're looking at the paper side. The pattern is the paper. If you're looking at the fabric side, I don't mean to confuse you there. So if you're looking at the pattern side versus if you're looking at the fabric side, it's how you lay your blocks out in the mirror image, and we have the design that will talk to you. We're not going to build our blocks as of yet. I just have them stacked up here. This is what I've been doing, is collecting them as we go. I think next month we might talk about building them and building it out so we can start seeing what our kit's looking like. It's going to be so much fun. I did notice on block A4 we have some small pieces coming up. And so that made me think we might want to review some of our techniques and review some of the things that have helped you so far. What are you struggling with? What could be helpful? So some of the things I want to talk about is pressing and starching your fabric. I really love Terra Magic, but I don't use it in this bottle. I put it in a mister bottle. The reason is it's a really thick product. It's going to come out thick, and let me show you what that looks like. If you can see, this is basically what it looks like on the fabric. It's not stained. It is going to come out, but you definitely don't want your product looking like that. So I've done it on a few others. This one has light, and you can't tell because I used it with the mister. So be sure and use the mister. It's definitely helping get those points really great, get your fabric laying down really smooth. That doesn't allow for wrinkles or your fabric to kind of bunch up when you're trying to get some of those smaller pieces. When you're shoving that paper in and you're sewing it, they kind of bunch up or cut, rip up a little bit. So that actually does really great helping. So some of the other things I want to talk about would be cutting options. So I have our patterns here. I'll lay one out. And I use this wonderful Caterpillar light board. I don't know if you can see it very well. I have the Pro one, I believe. This one I really love. I can unplug it. It stays charged for like 4 hours. A little longer sometimes. It depends on if you have it on high, medium, or low. They make several different ones that would fit your need. If you are interested in needing one, check them out. There's a much smaller one that I like to travel with. I actually use sometime in the living room when maybe I'm just cutting paper watching a movie, things like that. So check them out. I actually have a link, a code, 15% off. I will type down below. So you just go to Caterpillar, put in that code, and you can get 15% off your order. So that's pretty helpful sometimes. So the other thing let's talk about is, what are you using to cut? Are you using scissors? Some people have paper scissors. I have those as well. I don't have them in front of the camera, of course, because one of the things I wanted to talk about is the different kind of rotary cutters. I like rotary cutters. I like using them too. This is my Tula. I'll face it. I just love the color, but I actually love the weight as well. So I'm just doing a rough cut on my pattern. And I'm leaving my seams pretty large, and I assume you all are doing the same. This thing cuts pretty nice. I do like it. Then I have this trusty old one. This was one of my first ones, the little Olaf rotary cutter. It has that safety switch. And I do like it as well. When you're cutting with your rotary cutter, you want to be sure and grab how it is managed for you to handle. There's usually some little thumbprints, some little places for you to put your hands on. So you're going to point your rotary cutter straight, keeping your blade straight, pressing down. You don't have to press down super hard. Just a little bit does the trick, and it works. It's very smooth and nice. Let me show you another one I have. This is a new one I've started using. It's from Dave Maratelli and the Maratelli Company. It's interesting. I sat with it for a week before I used it. I brought it home from the Paducah Quilt Show, and I've actually been using it ever since. So it's interesting that at first I was like, this ain't working. And I actually got a view from Dave Maratelli himself, and how I naturally wanted to handle it, I thought was wrong, because of course I'm grabbing it like this and I'm like, yeah, you're going to cut your fingers off or something. Honestly, it is made to go like this. You're going to put your finger here. There's a little thumb hole here, and you just push it down. It rolls really smooth. Make sure it stays straight. This, guys, I'm really liking this rotary cutter, because let me show you what else I can do. Unlike some of my others, when I'm trying to cut this way or a way I'm probably not really supposed to do, I can get up closer than, for some reason, where I have the lip on these. This part sometimes dampers my ability to utilize what I'm cutting to do the seams or go this way. This one I can go either way, but he does have a left or a right that they sell. I'm right-handed, so of course I have the right-handed one. They come in big or small. This would be, I think, considered the smaller one. It's really smooth. I like it. I think it's really important to try different products to see what you like, what works best for you, and what doesn't work, because everybody has opinions. Everybody wants you to use what they use, but I want you to use what works best for you. But knowing how to use them properly is one of the most important things. So be sure and check out your different options. Let me know if you have any questions. And I would definitely love to talk about it. So when we are cutting our board, one of the other things that Caterpillar also sells is this really cool swivel board. They do have them different sizes. I have the larger one. It's kind of like a little DJ thing. If you put it on your light board, you see through it, but you can also still rotate. So that's a pretty cool option. When you're sewing, you're cutting, you want to do different seams, different directions, you don't have to move your whole product. I use this often when I am building mine as well. So yeah, pretty fun. I hope you like it and check it out. Let's see. So I'm interested in hearing about some of the questions coming my way on building your blocks. Again, this month doesn't have any surprises. We're just going to cut it just like we have been. We are going to put our paper on it, put our fabric on it, and cut it. I just automatically grab my Tula Pink because, you know, I like her. She's a fan. But I like all the other people too. They're a lot of fun. So just start cutting out your product, cutting out your paper, your pieces. And let's start sewing and see where we are going to be this month. we'll just put them in our little pile. If you've learned to separate or if you've decided to keep them straight, that is your decision. At this point, like I said, you know what's working for you. You know what might not be, or where you need to strengthen or find other options. My board is kind of moving right now because let me show you another thing I'm working with here. I wanted you to be able to see the difference in all the products that I'm using to cut with. And I have my sewing machine is now at an angle. You probably can't tell that because I have a binder underneath mine. The reason I have a binder is my sewing machine is now at an angle, and I can kind of see straight at it a little. It doesn't look like it's in the video very much, but it's actually about a 45-degree angle, and I can send pictures, or you can see a little better. I actually am kind of liking the angle. I can see my needle better. I can see right straight down without having to lean over and bend down. So this is actually working pretty cool. I've only used it a few times, so I'm still learning and still in the process, but definitely enjoying. So we are going to get busy with our sewing and our cutting. And reminder, when we're doing our small pieces, have them starched or use some Tear On Magic. But remember, enjoy the process because that's what it's about. This is how much remaining fabric I have left from all of my blocks. I'm sure you have quite a few too. So at this point, you know, this fabric is really, we've got plenty, and we can continue to cut bigger than what we need, because it's definitely no fun to go back and recut an entire piece because you didn't make that seam cut large enough and you're not capturing it. So just remember, no stress, a lot of fun, enjoy the process, and don't worry. We are just going to cover our fabric, making sure it's all the way covered, and enjoy the process. That's kind of what it's about. And you've probably also, we've went over it a few times, these options here. And this is what I consider a dog ear. So your block's going to be hanging off a little bit, same as this one. Let me see if I can get a square. This one right here is a square, so you're going to square it up perfectly. So that's really fun assistance to help us building these blocks, which actually puts our pieces together to make them look right. So I'm going to let you start to sew and finish your blocks, putting your fabric on and getting your papers together. Remember, utilizing your cut guide. It'll help you build it out properly, because you want to go in order when you are putting these pieces together. Use your cut guide. Not your cut guide, I am sorry. You're going to use your assembly guide, and then the assembly guide is going to step it out each step of what piece to go together. And that's what you should have been doing all along. But if you're not, go ahead and start and just use your assembly guide, because these folds sometimes make a big difference. This kit has a lot of little pieces, and they're folding over very specific. So we want to have it perfect. We want your work to show off just as well as everybody else's, and they're going to be so excited to see it when it's complete. And you are going to be like, I did that. That's right. So enjoy the process. Start to sew. Think about this time your notions. Think about some struggles you might had, how you can better work on those processes. And if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out. In the meantime, I am going to cut my blocks and show you what they're looking like at the end. Hey guys, I'm back with my completed blocks. Check them out. Are they not looking great? Listen, when you bat them up together, remember you have the seam allowance. So why does that green at the bottom not look like it's really matching? You've got to put it together first. So don't worry about that if it's looking weird at this point. Let me get my binding clips as an example. I'm going to put my binding clips on the tip of this one as well as this one. Easier said than done when there's a seam right in the corner, right? But hey, I'm not mad. Someone did this hoe process for me and made it look really great. So we're going to pull that out so I can see it a little bit. I'm going to set my seam right perfectly in that corner. That corner is really hard to get to, guys. Same with this one, it's a little bit hidden, but just a little one seam versus that one has some tie-ups there. Okay, so remember, here's our seam and here's our seam. So next month we will go and we will join these all together so you can kind of see how that kit is looking and how your product can get a little bit of a taste of what it's like building your kit, building the block out, making it look so fun. So this is just, I like to put the bindings on here, the binding clips on here, and then I press down, kind of get it a little bit more open. I think that one's not all the way yet. And then you're going to get the idea of how it's looking coming together. Hold on. I like to do this a little extra so you can kind of just get an idea. Like I said, we're not putting it together. When we put it together, we're going to want it to be really pretty perfect. And so we'll go over some techniques to make that pretty fabulous. And here's what our block is going to look like when we start to put it together. So I hope you join me again for month 4, where we are going to build 2 more. I think we're coming with 2 more blocks coming up. And then I think we will try and build onto our process with our current blocks that we just finished, as well as our month 1 and 2. We will have plenty to put together. So, and in month 4, I hope you join me where we are going to do our next 2 blocks and start building these together. At that point, we will have 8 of our blocks completed. So it's going to be amazing. And we'll work on our techniques to join these blocks together. So again, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching.